Tonight, a man is dead after eating a raw oyster at a Sarasota restaurant. We'll have a warning from health officials about a flesh-eating bacteria.
Plus, several parents are speaking out about their concerns with the safety of a Bradenton summer camp.
And an arrest is made in yesterday's I-75 wrong-way crash caught on video. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC 7 News at 5.
Good evening, I'm Jacqueline Matter.
And I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks for being with us tonight. This evening, a health warning after a Sarasota man died from eating a raw oyster at a local restaurant. That oyster was contaminated with a bacteria that in certain situations can become flesh-eating.
ABC 7's Jackie Kelly talked with the Florida Department of Health about how to keep yourself safe. Jackie, what can you tell us?
Scott, Jacqueline, the Florida Department of Health tells me that you can get sick from this bacteria in 2 different ways, from eating raw seafood or from swimming in salt water with an open wound. Now, you can contract this illness year-round, but it's more prevalent in the summer months.
Eating seafood or taking a swim in the water may seem like an essential summertime pastime, but you should be careful of the bacteria Vibrio vulnificus, which pops up more with the heat.
So Vibrio is a bacteria, and it lives in salt water or brackish water, so any water that has salt in it, and it's there essentially all the time.
If you eat raw seafood such as oysters, which are bottom feeders that filter water, you could be at risk. The Florida Department of Health says if you are infected, you could see these signs.
Diarrhea, fever, general symptoms like associated with a GI or gastrointestinal illness. That can progress to a more severe illness where you get the bacteria in your blood, causing you to be more sick.
One local chef says restaurants do their best to make sure guests are aware of the dangers of raw seafood.
We are required by the state health department to post that warning on our menu for people to consume raw seafood and raw oysters. It's clearly stated on everybody's menu that there is a risk associated with that, particularly if you are elderly or have a reduced immune system.
He also says some people use the trick of only eating raw seafood during the months that end with R.
Summertime, May, June, July, there are no R's in there, the water's warmer, and so the bacteria that is potentially hazardous to some people is more prevalent.
Another way of contracting the illness is from going into salt water with an open wound.
That site may look tender, raw, be warm to the touch, kind of appear like a skin infection, and then once again, as the bacteria progresses or infection progresses, can get in the blood, causing a more severe illness.
Now we can tell you that that man who passed away was 71 years old, which makes him more at risk with this bacteria. He died just 2 days after he got sick. The Florida Department of Health says if you're seeing any of these symptoms, to get medical assistance immediately. Reporting live from Sarasota, Jackie Kelly, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Jackie, thank you. Right now, the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office is responding to a disturbance on Siesta Key. The Sheriff's Office isn't saying much yet, but only the deputies were alerted to a gun being fired on Contento Street around 2 o'clock this afternoon. No one was hurt. We have a crew on the way to the scene there, and we'll bring you more as we get it.
New developments involving the investigation into the death of a Northport toddler. An autopsy is being conducted today to determine the official cause of death of 20-month-old Ava Perry. Police are now working with the Department of Children and Families on the investigation. Police say the little girl was playing with her sister in her family's backyard yesterday morning when she disappeared. Police found her a few hours later in a canal about half a mile away from her home. That canal also borders the little girl's backyard. When police found her, she was still alive, but Ava died as she was rushed to the hospital. Police are still talking to the child's parents about what happened. Now to a follow-up on a wrong-way crash on I-75 in Sarasota County yesterday. The sheriff's office arrested a convicted felon after she fled from deputies driving off in the wrong direction, causing a head-on collision on the interstate. Jacqueline Burge was then taken to Venice Hospital. Deputies say they found drugs and narcotic equipment in her car. She's now facing 9 charges and remains in custody tonight.
Now to a follow-up to a story we broke last week. A 7-year-old boy ended up in the hospital after he was left abandoned at a Bradenton summer camp. Since our story aired, we heard from several other parents with similar stories. Lynette Kendall grew up at GT Bray Park, so she and her sister sent her kids to summer camp here this year. Kendall says they had a horrible experience. In one instance, her mother walked out of the park with her son, and she says not a single counselor noticed. Kendall did not want to go on camera, but this is what she had to say.
My mom came on her lunch break to check on him, and she called me and told me that 3 counselors were under the pavilion on their phones not paying attention. So I told her to walk off the field with my son, and she already told me she had my niece with her. So she walked off and they were unaware until she went aside to make a complaint.
Kendall pulled her son out of that camp the next day. You'll hear from the camp's director coming up at 6 o'clock. Well, we are in the middle of hurricane season, but it's a good idea to be prepared for flooding all year long. Manatee County is giving you 2 opportunities this summer to stock up on sandbags. The first happens Saturday, July 28th from 8 a.m. until noon at the county's new transit facility on Televast Road. The second chance will be Saturday, August 18th from 8 a.m. until noon at the Bradenton Area Convention Center in Palmetto. You will be allowed to get up to 10 bags per household.
And you know, get those while you can, because we saw last year the lines for those sandbags, if a hurricane or flooding come, can be pretty long.
Avoid the rush.
Yeah.
Right. All right, let's get a check on today's weather. We've had some rain around the area. Here's Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan.
Yeah, and the same goes true, by the way, for your hurricane supply kit. You don't want to wait till the last minute to stock that up either. August to September, typically the busiest months for tropical systems. Although this season we're expecting below average storms, there's always a potential for 1 or 2 of those to make their way toward the west coast of Florida. Anna Maria webcam not showing any kind of tropical system out there right now, but we're seeing the steady onshore flow. This is looking west, and you can see these clouds moving east, and occasionally a shower or 2 popping up with that. Now, lately it's settled down a little bit. We'll have a little lull, and then it'll be back again later on tonight. More showers and storms are in the offing. What we have is a stationary front. It's a frontal boundary that has come down, not like that, but it's all over the southeast United States. On top of that, we have high pressure bump down to the south now, and that's bringing us this onshore flow, which is creating these showers and storms around right now. And you can see they've been steady, but they have been widely scattered as well. A few isolated thunderstorms occasionally, but now things are calming down a little bit here. As I mentioned, we'll have a little lull, and then other showers and storms will start to pop up later on tonight. The latest radar sweep does show some light rain near Siesta Key, stretching all the way to I-75, but that's about it currently. As I mentioned, though, there will be other showers popping up later on tonight. And then again, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, would not be surprised to see 1 or 2 storms popping up and producing some isolated thunderstorms. Now it's 84 degrees. We have some high clouds around. It still feels like 95. That's actually gone up a little bit within the last hour. It was at 90, and the barometer 30.03, still high at the surface here, although it's bumped down to the south. But what's noticeable is that dew point temperature at 78, making it feel very muggy outside. We'll have more on our forecast in just a few minutes. Back to you.
Okay, Bob, thank you. We all watched their heroic rescue, the 12 Thai boys and their coach, trapped for up to 18 days underground, and the international rescue effort to save them. Now, for the first time, those boys are speaking with the media, and we're even seeing them up and out of the hospital, all smiles. ABC's Maggie Ruley tells us how they're recovering.
It's been a long journey to get here, but finally, the boys are coming home. Hallelujah. Their families overcome with emotion as they embrace their sons after more than 2 weeks trapped miles underground and another week in the hospital. It's all smiles as Abdul Saman hugs his parents and even bites into a piece of fried chicken. Doctors say the boys look in great shape. They're able to eat just about anything. They've regained weight. They were even seen running around playing soccer earlier today. As we witness their miraculous recovery, we're also learning more about their incredible survival. The boys say it was supposed to be just a quick trip into the cave. The water level didn't seem that deep, but when they went to leave about an hour later, the way out was blocked. They tried to find a new way to escape, even digging holes into the cave's wall, until finally their coach told them to conserve energy, instead focusing on prayer to quiet the mind while they waited for rescue. Before heading home, the boys honored the Navy SEAL who died trying to find them. All 12 say they plan to be ordained as monks to honor his legacy. Maggie Ruley, ABC News, New York.
Still to come in your Suncoast News, how the ongoing red tide issue is starting to hurt some businesses in South Sarasota County.
And we could see some thunderstorms tonight. Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with our first alert forecast. Plus, we'll tell you about a good incentive to eat more fish. Those stories coming up.
It's summer on the Suncoast, and you know what that means. It's Friday Fest season.
And you are invited. Join ABC 7 for the Van Wezel Performing Arts Hall's free outdoor summertime concert series. Groove to the funk and soul of music by Florida's own Reverend Barry and the Funk on July 27th, featuring originals and covers by Earth, Wind & Fire, The Commodores, Kool and the Gang, and Prince.
For more information, go to this number or go to mysuncoast.com/FridayFest.
If you don't want to fall immediately into love, look away. If you don't want to awaken a desire for excellence, look away. If you don't want to be seduced, please look away.
Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Maserati Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Everything all right?
Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery?
Sure.
We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to mesobook.com.
When my youngest, Addie, was 2.5, she was diagnosed with leukemia. When we first heard that diagnosis, you feel extremely alone. Walking in that Light the Night light with 6,000 people carrying lights, white for survivors, red for supporters, gold in memory of those who have passed. It's the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's hope that every year there are fewer gold lanterns. Your lantern will make a difference.
Start a team, join a team.
Help us light the night.
The lingering red tide bloom along parts of the Suncoast continues to have an impact on sea life and beachgoers, but red tide is also affecting some area businesses as well. The toxic bloom continues to wash up dead fish and cause respiratory issues for some people. One business owner in Englewood who rents chairs and beach stools says they've been open 4 days in the past 3 weeks. He says he doesn't want to subject his employees to the conditions on the beach. We'll hear from other business owners experiencing the effects of red tide firsthand coming up at 6 o'clock. A new shark species is being named in honor of the founder of Mote Marine Lab. Dr. Eugenie Clark was a pioneer in shark biology, known around the world for her research on shark behavior. Clark founded Mote Marine and continued studying marine life until her death in 2015 at the age of 92. She'll now be recognized with another distinction, the namesake of a newly discovered species of dogfish shark identified from the Gulf of Mexico and western Atlantic Ocean. I think that's so fitting for someone who gave so much to marine biology.
Of course, what an honor for her.
Yeah, I know Johnny has caught some sharks. He didn't know what kind of they were. Maybe it was a dogfish shark. So there you go. We are looking at a lot of showers out there in the Gulf of Mexico periodically. Even on land, Lakewood Ranch webcam showing the spotty showers pushing on through. They've been pretty heavy too. The atmosphere is really quite moist. It's a tropical air mass right now, and so the showers that do develop will contain some brief periods of some very heavy rainfall. Torrential at times, more so to the north. The frontal boundary is located to the north of us now, and that trough of low pressure as well with it will add to the lift of these storms. So we're expecting a little bit more intense storms, say north of I-4. We'll still get some rain here. They still will be intense, but I don't think as widespread as they're going to see just to our north. And then morning and coastal showers, as well as, again, looks like overnight showers possible right on in through. The next couple of days, we may get a little break on Saturday, then they'll be back on Sunday. As far as the Titan radar picture goes, some showers just popping up now, moving through Osprey and near Venice, heading off toward Venetian. They're very small, though. You can see that quite clearly. And they just kind of flared up within the last 45 minutes or so as they've been kind of working their way off to the east. There wasn't anything there an hour ago, and then all of a sudden, boom, a few showers. So that's what we can expect tonight. Expect also the possibility of an isolated storm producing some lightning, too. That's always a possibility. We saw a few lightning strikes with the one that moved through Siesta Key about an hour and a half ago. Rainfall amounts have not been all that impressive, but the showers at times when it's raining can bring rainfall rates up to 2 inches an hour. You see all that dry air now. It's been pushed down to our south as that trough of low pressure moves in. All this moisture is still around and will stay around as things aren't going to change much. You can see from the Futurecast, it'll continue to show that onshore flow. And onshore flow, a direct result of that trough and frontal boundary and the fact that the high pressure has been suppressed down to our south now. And we see that situation. It's not the best for red tide sufferers in Inglewood and also Minnesota, as well as into Punta Gorda, because that west wind brings all the harmful impacts of red tide right to the coastline there. And that's not going away. So unfortunately, that is the case. We just got the midweek report out too. Manatee County not showing any impacts as far as red tide goes. None of the samples there showing red tide. There's still a few in North Sarasota, but not as many, more so in South Sarasota County. 85 degrees right now in Tallahassee, so it's a little bit cooler across the state because of the increased cloud cover and that system I mentioned. 78 now in Orlando. Temperatures around the area, upper 80s to near 90 degrees, and places where they had more sunshine today, Lake Placid at 91, 89 in Punta Gorda, still 88. Downtown Sarasota, the Gulf water temperature at 88 too. You would expect that with a westerly wind. With the water temperature at 88, that air riding over the top of it keeps temperatures into the upper 80s. Well, that west wind will stay with us on Thursday morning, and we can expect showers, a few thunderstorms around in the morning. They'll be hit or miss, so keep that in mind. There'll be a lot of folks out working too, and so a couple of those storms will produce lightning, dangerous lightning too. Not normal timing of our afternoon and evening storms sometimes catches people off guard. 84 degrees, heat index at 95. We have some high clouds at the airport. As far as temperatures go across the U.S., look at this, 105. That's the actual temperature, not feels like. In Dallas, it's cooled down over the Great Lakes and throughout the Ohio Valley as well as the central U.S. They've been experiencing a very hot summer thus far. 87, a little bit cooler in Washington. I know it doesn't seem cool, but it's cooler than they've been. 100 in Reno and 76 in Los Angeles. Tomorrow's high temperatures, it stays hot in Dallas. Another 105-degree reading. 84 in Chicago, same in Cleveland, St. Louis warming up, and then here comes Kansas City again, back into the mid-90s. As winds will start to move more from the southwesterly direction there. You can see that line right there. That's a stationary front and the trough of low pressure hanging over the southeast United States. Well, for beach and boating tomorrow, southwest winds, occasional showers around, and a light chop on the bays and inland waters outside those storms. 7-day forecast then. Pretty good chances for those morning showers and storms in the early afternoon near the coast, and then later on mainly inland, although there'll still be a few near the coast. 50% on Thursday, 40 on Friday. It slackens a bit on Saturday, just for a brief moment there, and then it jumps back up quickly on Sunday, Monday, and through the work week next week. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. Let's check First Alert traffic right now. We're seeing the interstate backed up, heading north. This is between Fruitville Road and then north to State Road 70. Some traffic we're also seeing as you head east on University Parkway at this hour as well. Jacqueline?
Thanks, Scott. In health news tonight, startling news from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control. Death rates from liver cancer for adults in the U.S. have increased 43% between 2000 to 2016. According to the report, the reason for the increased mortality rate lies with an increased number of people developing the disease. The vast majority of liver cancer cases are caused by underlying liver disease. People who smoke, drink excessively, and have poor nutrition face higher risks of developing liver problems. One expert believes the rising rate of obesity and the number of baby boomers with hepatitis C are the main reason for that increase. A new study gives us a good incentive to eat more fish. ABC's Kenneth Moten tells us how eating fish may lead to a longer life.
Grandma used to call fish brain food, but we now know that many types of fish contain omega-3 fatty acids, good for your heart. Now a new study tells us the benefits can go beyond that. Researchers follow people for 16 years, asking them what they ate. More fish seems linked to a lower risk of death from multiple causes, including cancer, heart, lung, and liver disease. Women even had lower risk of death related to Alzheimer's disease. For every 50 milligrams per day of omega-3 fatty acid, that nutrient present in fish, men saw a 2% lower overall death rate. Unfortunately, if you like your fish fried, fish didn't seem linked to any benefit. In women, fried fish actually led to increased risk of death. So if you're making dinner tonight and you need another excuse to add some fresh fish to the summer menu, smile. You may just live a little longer. With this Medical Minute, I'm Kenneth Moten, ABC News.
Coming up, a dramatic scene after a chemical truck catches fire on a highway, and a man sets an unusual record involving watermelons. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
You want a Maserati, but you need an SUV. Why not have both? Levante, the Maserati of SUVs.
Experience it at Sunset Maserati Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Thanks to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, what was once impossible is happening today for thousands of patients with blood cancer.
I live.
I live. I live. I live.
I live.
She lives.
Because of the research done by the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society in the battle against blood cancer.
If you had a chance to support the research that is saving lives, what would you do?
Hello, I'm John Merce. Rugs As Art is celebrating yet another anniversary, and I would personally like to thank each and every one of you for the many years of continuous support. All during the month of July, we're having a grand celebration. We have flooded our showroom with yellow tag specials, meaning more discounts and more savings than ever before, plus free padding. So don't miss this anniversary celebration at Rugs As Art, Sarasota's bigger and better area rug superstore.
Designers do it with style.
Tell me what's going on here.
Why, you don't like my hair?
The Mark and Mandy Show. In-depth design ideas.
What is up with the tuck tape here? Let's cover it up.
Amazing beauty and fashion tips.
So Halle Berry has amazing skin. Her secret is coffee grounds.
No.
Delicious recipes.
Today, I'm gonna show you a special dish that is sure to please that special someone in your life.
Watch The Mark and Mandy Show right here on your favorite channel.
When ABC7 declares a first alert weather day, it means we can expect major changes to weather conditions here along the Sun Coast.
It means there could be severe, potentially dangerous weather ahead.
We tell you when a first alert weather day is coming because we want you to be prepared.
A First Alert Weather Day is an advance warning. We'll let you know about any changes in the weather when the first signs appear.
ABC 7 First Alert Weather. We're here for you.
A chemical truck crash and fire shuts down a Milwaukee highway this morning. A car hit a construction trailer just after 3 o'clock this morning. The driver got out unharmed, but the car and the trailer burst into flames. A foreman told first responders the trailer contained dangerous flammable chemicals, so firefighters pulled back and called for hazmat crews. But when the foreman got to the scene, he realized the car hit a different trailer, one that was carrying a much less dangerous road primer. Well, hundreds in North Carolina are without power after a fire engulfed a scrapyard northeast of Charlotte. Thick smoke could be seen for miles as firefighters battled the blaze. According to Duke Energy, more than 1,600 customers lost power. A man whose family owns the scrapyard says the flames sparked in one of the cars and then the fire spread. He said all 20-plus employees escaped that yard safely. And as a precaution, residents in the path of all that smoke were asked to shelter in place and were encouraged to close their doors and windows.
A rare 7-week-old white lion cub is on public display at an animal sanctuary in Texas. Luna, a white African lioness, made her debut last week at the Tiger Creek Animal Sanctuary. She is one of less than 500 white lions left in the world. Only about a dozen are left in the wild due to poachers and canned hunting facilities where people pay to hunt the lions. Luna weighs just 12 pounds and is bottle fed every 2 to 3 hours. She'll be moved to her own habitat when she's 6 months old. On your mark, get set, go.
Hi. Hi. Hi.
The man who holds more Guinness World Records than anyone proves once again he's a cut above the competition. Ashrita Furman set a new record yesterday in New York. Furman sliced through 26 watermelons on his stomach in 1 minute. That's 6 more than he needed to establish a new record. According to Furman, he has gone into the record book at least 750 times. He says 225 of those records still stand. Still to come on your Suncoast News, the new Sarasota County Schools Police Chief tells us how he plans to build a brand new police force and what one Sarasota community is doing to get better protection for our local police officers. Those stories straight ahead.
Temperatures are rising and the deals are heating up during the summer clearance event at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat in Sarasota. Get KBV's 2017 Best Buy Award overall winner, the Chrysler Pacifica, for just $23,999. Or save big and get the new Chrysler 300 Touring with an MSRP over $30,000 for just $21,999. That's a savings of over $8,000. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat in Sarasota today.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Did you know that a dirty CPAP system can make you sick? If you knew what could be growing in your mask and hose, it would keep you up at night. Now SoClean.com has released the world's first and only automated hands-free CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. With its patented design, SoClean is fast, effective, and hands-free, killing 99.9% of all CPAP germs. Try SoClean now through this special TV offer free for 30 days. Just call 800-604-0398.
My health has improved. It's simple to use and I'm not worried about infections.
SoClean works on all CPAP machines and popular masks, destroying CPAP bacteria, viruses, and germs without the daily hassle of washing your system by hand. Just place your mask in, close the lid, and in just minutes, voila! Sanitized and ready to use. Try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. This is a limited time offer. Call now, 800-604-0398. Or visit SoClean.com today.
I heard about the Dotoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Dotole Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
Hurricane season is here, and so is the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC7. This essential resource arms you with vital information you need to protect your family and property when severe weather threatens the Suncoast, including how to create your readiness plan and survival kit, shelter locations, what to do with pets, and important phone numbers. Visit mysuncoast.com and download the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC7. Brought to you by Batteries Plus, the Florida Lottery, and Sarasota Glass and Mirror.